Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, and I just wanted to talk briefly about Unicorn Overlord. Now that I beat it, I recently had done a little quick review on it, and I just wanted to talk more because I feel like I could shed a little more light on it now that I spent all this time with it. So, the game ran me about 40 to 41 hours in total. I got every achievement, beat the game, did all the side missions. I think I accomplished everything. Um, it has a little sprinkle of Suikoden in it, so if you like that game, I would recommend this. You play as this prince whose mother is the queen, and at the beginning of the game, it's not a spoiler because it's right when you start, she gets killed, and you're trying to avenge her, but also make peace throughout the land so that you can get all these people from other areas to join your army and go against this like demon overlord guy named Galerius, I think his name is. He's like this big, tough-looking knight, and he has his bad guys everywhere. And you're looking to create an army with all different people with different abilities, which is why it reminds me of Suikoden. There's a lot of recruits to go after him and his armies, do side quests. Um, the game plays out like a strategy RPG, but it's not what you do on the battlefield in terms of where you move. It's what you have equipment wise and people wise in your party. So when you play a battle, it just plays out automatically, but you can pick what you prefer people to do. And um, depending on what kind of makeup you have in your party, like maybe one guy's a knight and one girl rides a dragon or whatever, they work off of each other better depending on their skills and what they can do. Certain skill sets, like a mage works good with a knight or whatever, work better than others. Um, each of the missions are sort of similar in that you're usually trying to take over an outpost from the bad guys. Sometimes you take a place over and you'll recruit someone new or be able to recruit a bad guy that then becomes good and kind of either finds the error of their ways, or you use your magical ring to get rid of the evil spirit from them and they go back to being normal and want to join you and turn their lives around. So there's like lots of little story and bits between the characters. You're able to build rapport with them and fall in love and get married, and the characters' interactions change and stuff throughout the game. Some of the characters are a little dull and don't have much to add to the story. They felt more like filler, like, oh, we have an archer here that you need, but he's just kind of a boring archer and he doesn't say too much. It's like, okay. And then you can hire people as well to fill out your teams that have no personality and don't talk. So some of the characters I thought were really good, and some of them I really didn't care for. And that also changes the like who you want to marry by the end of the game, because one of the major facets of the game is you have this like unicorn ring, and you give one of the women a maiden ring, and you marry her, and you both get stat boosts. So depending on who you like personality wise and who also could really use the stat boosts, you may choose someone that I didn't choose to marry. Um, the game feels a little overwhelming at first because there's a lot of instructions as to creating your party, recruiting people, using different items. And then there are like side missions. You can dig around and find items and treasure maps, then dig up treasure. There's little areas you can liberate to get more points and honor. Honor is something you use to upgrade your characters. So a lot of that it comes as you play the game, and I think they sort of feed it to you in drips and drabs as you're playing. It does get a little samey, and I didn't think the story was really phenomenal, but I did like it. And at the end of the game, there's a little twist with the last level that you find out, and I was like, oh, that was a cool twist I didn't expect. So I thought the end was good. There's also like a side quest after the end that's optional that you can do, and that kind of gets you the last achievement you need or the last trophy if you're playing on PlayStation. The graphics are very anime looking. It looks very much like Vanillaware's other games. So if you've played something like Dragon's Crown, it looks sort of like that without the big boobs. Everyone looks a little more normal. Some of them have big boobs and big legs, but overall, there's a little more normalcy to the characters and not so dramatic looking. Um, you make some cool friendships and relationships in the game while you're playing. There's a little bit of an online portion where you fight in this Coliseum to try and take your team up to the Coliseum ranks, and you can play online and fight your friends offline. Like, they don't have to be online. They just have their team in the Coliseum versus yours, and because it's automatic, they just clash online, on the game. Um, Again, a pretty large game and not something I would really look at playing because of its length, but you can save anywhere. You can save in the middle of the battle, you can save on the map, you can save pretty much anywhere in the game. And I thought that was really, really good for me because I was able to sit down, do a half hour, maybe like liberate a town, and then save and stop, or just save and stop during the middle of a battle. So I really enjoyed this. If I had to give this like a rating, I would probably give it like an 8 out of 10. I thought it was very good. Um, the story could have been a little better and definitely has its lulls. And some of the characters are a little boring and not as fun as other characters or interesting. But there's definitely a handful of really cool characters. And even the main guy you play as sort of feels like a blank slate, like goody two shoes. He doesn't really have much of a personality, in my opinion. But I'm not going to knock it. It was a really great game. So if you like strategy RPGs where you're not doing like turn-based or grid-based strategy, but you're more working on the minutia of compiling your team and then letting it play out depending on your compilation, highly recommend Unicorn Overlord. Thanks guys for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.